It's Fragrance Friday. Phoenix J back with another Fragrance Friday, y'all. And this week is all about one note and one note only. And that note is coconut. Super quick story. So, couple months back, I was in Walmart. I was buying an air freshener for my car. I needed a car freshener. I was getting a whole bunch of other things. And I came across a brand, I think it's called Maison and Muse. Maison and Muse. And they had a sea salt and coconut air freshener. And I'm like, that sounds like it's going to smell really good. I smelled the package. I was like, this is nice. I'll get it. Bought it, put it in the car, hang it up. I'm like, oh, this is divine. And I let a few days pass. And I think I was off the next day. So I was not in my car. I didn't go anywhere. But I got back in my car, and the way that sea salt and coconut had just completely permeated my car in such a wonderful aroma cloud, I said, yes, I've got to find the perfume version of this. So I've been on a journey. I've been on a journey for the past few months, continuously adding some additional coconut fragrances so that I can create that vibe that car freshener gave. I've already missed it one on. So we're going to talk through what I've already missed it. And this is Demeter Fragrance Library's Coconut. Just coconut. And for those who are not familiar with Demeter Fragrance Library, they have such a unique collection of fragrances. I've done some before where we've talked about transfixed and aloe vera, but they're also known for kitten fur and cemetery and I think wet dirt. Thunderstorm. They have a very unique collection of fragrances that are really meant to trigger memories, but also some are just so out there that you have to get them. Like I have one called Holy Water. We'll have to do another Demeter fragrance library because I did recently do a haul with a bunch of these bag sprays, and there's some really, really good gems in there, like some really good ones. There's one that makes me think of Pixie Sticks. It's like delicious, divine. Um, but when I saw this one, I was like, that would be maybe a just spot on coconut note, and it's wonderful. It definitely gives the coconut vibe. It's actually giving fresh coconut and not like a salted or a toasted coconut. It's very much like a fresh coconut vibe. I have really been vibing with coconut lately. Even my setting spray, I can see I'm almost done with this one. The setting spray I use some days for work, this Fix Plus from MAC, is the coconut that is probably discontinued. I don't even think they make this anymore. But this Fix Plus coconut, so hydrating, light aroma of coconut, very just good, very good for this. It feels good on the skin. It feels good and it gets that coconut vibe going. Uh, Way has their St. Bart's collection. Now, St. Bart's is probably their most popular scent collection. To me, you can't tell me there's not coconut in here. There's a sweet tropical vibe, but I feel like there's like a coconut cream note that just makes this so creamy and indulgent on the skin. It just feels and smells divine. So I actually wore this today as well. In fact, today's fragrance layer was pure coconut. So let me show you what I was wearing. Because both of these fragrances I've talked about, and I've talked about them both recently. Balinese coconut from Nest, New York, with cardamom latte from Nest, New York. Nest, y'all really knocked it out of the park. Like, really knocked it out of the park with both of these. The Balinese coconut, I appreciate that it's a perfume oil and that it's a fragrance oil that, of course, you're going to roll on and warm up, but it definitely extends the longevity of the coconut in your fragrances. So, wearing this with, Milk Orchid or with the cardamom latte, that is the perfect vibe if you want it to extend the wear of those coconut notes. What I like about the Balinese coconut is that while you do get the vibe of coconut, you're getting the coconut note, you're getting warm. You're getting that warmth that the tropics are known for. It's coming through in the fragrance in a very ambery tonka kind of way, which really intensifies the coconut. And then when you spritz on top of that, a little cardamom latte, where we have notes of cardamom, jasmine petals, mm, and coconut cream or coconut milk. What you get is this perfect blend of spice, sweetness, earthiness, warmth. It is definitely decadent. Decadent is the word here because it's rich, but it's not overwhelming. The milkiness is just enough to sweeten up the earthy vibes. The spice is just enough to cut the sweetness. And with the coconut and that warmth and that earthiness on the bottom, it just kind of grounds the fragrance. So I would definitely say if you like coconut, I know coconut is not everyone's vibe, and smelling like coconut is not everyone's vibe. Cardamom latte is the one to sneak into, like just to tiptoe into coconut with cardamom latte. Balinese coconut, if you're serious. If you're serious about coconut fragrances, definitely, but definitely these two together, this is a divine combo. Like this is easily becoming one of my go-tos. I've raved about these next two fragrances kind of quite a bit because both of them feature a coconut note. So the first one is Jean Paul Gaultier, Les Beaux Paradise Garden. This is just always going to be a top pick. I wore this one of my last off days. I was doing some running some errands, took the dog to the dog, to the pet store, and I was getting compliments on my smell. You get pepper, you get fig, coconuts in there. It adds this lush juiciness. This is for guys who want to sneak into a coconut, like really tiptoe their way into coconut fragrances without going straight coconut. And I can guarantee you that this layered with that Balinese coconut is going to pull that coconut a little bit more forward. Now, if you wanted to pull the fig more forward or the watery notes more forward, I have other fragrances for that. We've got so many aquatic notes, so many fig fragrances. But if you're trying to pull those coconut notes forward, get you a Balinese coconut or get you a cardamom latte, and that's going to pull that forward. Cardamom latte, I fear, will add too much spice because this does have its own spice in the form of pink pepper, and I think there's either ginger or black pepper in here. I think it might be ginger in this one. Um, so it could intensify the spice a bit much, and the coconut could end up being lost behind the green, the spice. Coconut could end up getting lost there. But I think layering this with the Balinese coconut would be a better bet. I've also talked about Sol de Janeiro's fragrance number 39, which has notes of coconut cream, tropical orchid, and toasted vanilla. I don't wear a lot of Sol de Janeiro fragrances, and I've said that before, but this is one that I really vibe with for this season. Like I actually wore this to a pool party. I like this at the pool. This is like good for vacation, a beach trip, getting out of town, getting away. It's like a perfect little mist all over kind of situation. And you get like more of a salty coconut here. You get the salt, you get the coconut, you get the seawater, and then the toasted vanilla is definitely intensifying the sweetness and the salty. But of course, as you see, it also has orchid, tropical orchid. So I bet you this would be delicious with that cardamom latte, or of course with that Balinese coconut. Finally, as far as fragrances go, because I think this is my last fragrance I have for the coconut. Finally, as far as fragrances go, there's no way I could not talk about Milk Orchid. Milk Orchid is just spectacular when it comes to finding a fragrance note and really, or to finding that coconut in a fragrance. It's still just so divine and it's so milky. Fig milk, coconut cream, almond blossom, vanilla orchid, warm cotton, magnolia, macadamia milk, sandalwood. It's milky, it's creamy. You've got the balance of the woody notes in there. But that coconut just comes through at the beginning with that almond, and it's this really gourmand cookie almost um opening. It just makes me think a little bit of cookies when it first opened, then it just goes into this orchid and this vanilla orchid and this richness. Very rich, indulgent, decadent. Like I think coconut is perfect for someone looking for something really sweet but like enriching, like giving that kind of luxurious gourmand vibe. I think coconut has a very good habit of doing that, helping you stick to gourmand and somewhat stick to fruit, somewhat stick to solar, but it adds this richness, this decadence. Finally, I did have one other item I wanted to add into this conversation because I've been using this a little bit lately, and this is the new Body Badalada Melting Moisturizer, Moisture Melting Lotion from Sol de Janeiro. This is actually the cream version of Fragrance 39. That's why they're the same color. And I have worn this on the body. I like wearing this with other like fragranced body products as well, but it has that same kind of salted coconut vibe that you get from 39. So I really hope y'all have enjoyed this little deep dive into the coconut fragrances of my collection. If y'all hear some whistling, that's just my crazy neighbor outside just having a time by himself. Y'all may or may not hear it, but I feel like if you do hear it, you have some good ears on you. But also, he's a bit of obnoxious. So I thank you so much for tuning into this Fragrance Friday. Phoenix J out. I will see you in the next one. Peace.